You will never breathe.
Namaste! Namaste, Big Cat! Welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555 for your message or messages. We have a teaching moment here today, guys. A teaching moment. The one day I take off for Mother's Day to have some rest and some R&R with my progeny, Karma and more. Right? Because my older progeny, Kenya, is working on her dissertation for her forensic, was it? Forensic psychology and criminal mental health. She's doing that for her master's. She was busy yesterday, but sent me all the love. Anyway, I was having my spa treatment and I decided to take a day off, right? And just relax with my progeny. When I opened my big cat eyes this morning and looked at my inbox, I saw that Will Smith, should I say, WillSmith.com smack the shiznai-ee. Smack the shiznai-ee. Let me rewind this track. Listen to what it says. Listen carefully, Big Cat. You'll never win, blood. The devil will always come for you at your highest point. Has said to Will Smith by Denzel Washington as he was giving his speech. Will went on to win the Oscar for King Richard, and that speech had me grabbing for my tissues, right? He spoke about protection in your family, being sent to this Malkuth to love. And Will Smith, didn't he play Muhammad Ali? What was wrong with Chris Rock? Why did he feel that it was necessary? Because he has to okay everything. I know they have script writers, but he has to okay everything before it comes on the stage. Chris Rock got up there in his thousands of squillions of dollar suit, right? Stood there, right? And said, no offense to you, Jada, but you're looking like G.I. Jane in them streets. Let me tell you something, blood. You know, Jada's been on those tarot streets previously saying about her woes with alopecia, right? So she's going through it, right? Will has been training. They're working out, right? He was a shoo-in for the Oscar for King Richard. And as him and his good lady was walking, because whatever happened in their past, they chose to get over it. So it's nobody's business. That's when you say, what down tools and fall back and mind your own shit, right? But, no sir. That Laverne Cox, I told you the other day, she was outer blood clot harder talking about entanglements to Jada. When Will heard that shit, right? He arched his back, he threw back his head and he laughed. That was to release aggression because he was fit to be tied. That means proper mad blood. He was proper angry, right? But he held it down, right? Because he thought, he must have thought about his career. He doesn't have to worry about the scritters. He will always have them, right? Fresh Prince and all that. Plus he's got quite a bit under his belt. And Will is always giving it out there like he's the nice guy, right? Mending fences with that woman he used to work with, the one that used to call him a motherfucker. What's her name? Somebody put her in the comments. Said that Will ruined her. But anyway, I digress. I need to get back to the Juicy Lucy's, right? Will Smith! Because they panned the camera in on Jada's face when Chris Rock made that G.I. Jane joke. Jada didn't smile and her eyes shot daggers as she looked at Chris on the stage. Then she turned those eyes and looked at her husband, right? Her husband, Will, right? And then we see Chris going, and then we see Will come up onto the stage, blood. Listen, I told you, when you see someone come to you and they're planted, you know you're going to get it, blood. Anyhow, yeah, let me get back to the tea. Will, right? gave it he didn't go right into Chris's face. No, he just went within bitch slapping feet of his face. That slap, it can't, listen, he had the left up to carry through if Chris had busted a move. It came from his ancestral team. He had full, right, movement. He extended his arm. His legs was balanced, remember? And then he pivoted his whole weight and all of his ancestral team and went. Everybody was still laughing. They thought it was a joke. Chris tried to come back with, it was just a joke about G.I.J. This is Will. Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. Everybody still laughed a bit because they didn't think it was true. Then Will repeated it. Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. Good God. He went ramping blood. I was like, whoa, go for it, Will. Listen, when a man chooses to protect the family that he's got, it may be skullduggerous, but he's chosen. Right, let me tell you something. Jada gave Will some spiritual lap with a comeback. Listen, Will is tired this morning. He's tired, plumb tuckered out. Tupac, who? She got, who's that? This is Big Kahuna Will. He slapped Chris so hard, his name will be now Christopher. Yes, you heard it, it was vulgar. And Will went on to win the Oscar and the speech he gave. I told you I had to get my tissues and blow out my nose. He spoke about protecting the weak, protecting those he loves. And it put me in mind to get to the marauder that came to my door. She's lucky I didn't jump up and come down with a whole 5 finger. I just chose to use what tongue wrestling, but I made it inflammatory. So that she could bust a move, so that I could wipe the floor with her and the 2 margot dogs. I just decided to what? Curse them good and walk them across the car park back to whence they came. But I digress again. You know I can be a chatty cat. Let me tell you something. Well, you got it. You got it. When he slapped Chris hands, right? Most men would be like, what? Fighting stance and retire. Chris hands came from behind his back just to see what the fuck happened, because the whole of their ecosystem had just been rocked. Yes, it just been rocked. His hands came out like this, like, what's that? And then they went back behind his back. What kind of, even his hands left into it. Chris was left perplexed, shocked. He didn't know what was going on. Well, it was point A and point B, right? He got all the smoke, the fire. Yes, baby, him get everything that Will has been bottling up all this time over said entanglement. And it was a jokey season for us all. Listen, I'm still gonna laugh from the UK, because why would Will want to come and smack me? I'm just going to see what was going on with the three of them, because we've got to pull a card on it, don't you think? But then again, who gonna check me, boo? Because I'm telling you, Chris is still going, Chris looked to the side for the floor team to come in to try and stop that shit, or to tell him what to do, or help me, Jesus, right? Then he was like, I'm not going to talk about her no more. All right, okay. His hands still hadn't come out to defend him. Not a finger, nothing. And Will was comforted by Tyler Perry, Denzel Washington. His agent had to come and give him a man-to-man chest hug to say, what? Cool down, blood? You did that shit. Chris Rock did say, this is going to make television history, bitch. Your face is on ice today, darling dears, and you've got the jawline for it, all squared up, eh? I bet his ex-wife, was it? Her name is Compton Rock. She's out there rocking, mate, for that what you did. What did you do? An entanglement on your wife. Listen, you see, when karma comes, blood, you don't know who's going to deliver it to you. And the man who's got how much millions and a whole what bulldog of what shit-kicking solicitor team to back him up, He's got the Skrillex. Not Scott. Take that shit, Chris. Take that shit. And I think, right, I even think he would have given that Zulu slap to Laverne Cox. But because she's a transgender, right, and was wearing a dress, he said, this is a female. And she is a female, right? Because you can choose to be whom you want. He's not going to slap a woman. But he got Chris, mate. Chris's hands was like, fuck this shit. I only pick up what? A microphone or a check. But it's mostly what? Just clicking on the digital. Let me tell you something, my eyes have seen it. And going on from that point, I go into the planetary energies for yesterday, right? This is why I always give you the planetary energies before we read. Right, leaning big. Let me sip my mocha, right? Look, my hands are shaking. I can't believe it. God gives me these teaching moments for you, big cat. Pay attention to the planetary energies. Get your birth natal chart. Get your perfections done. So you can have it what? Told to you ahead of time so that you know how to what? Hold your gangster. Yes. I approved. Listen, he had full extension. If his arm could have gone out anymore, it would have what? Slapped him on both cheeks. And not the one, darling dear. Not the one. His face has got the bag of peas on it today. Peas, and he don't know what the fuck to do to come back from that. Now that we've seen the gates of what did you say? Now those gates have been opened. Everybody's going to be bitch slapped left, right, and center. So let me get to the planetary energies for yesterday so you can see what was going on. And someone who should have what? Seen it was Chris Rock. You'd have shut up. Why would he, as another black man, right? Because, I mean, all races has their own struggles. But as a black man in America, knowing that his brother, who came up from the red trenches just like him, possibly about to receive an Oscar, why would he okay to say something about his wife, to humiliate him and have everybody laughing, as he was supposedly going to get the Oscar? Why would he do that? But I tell you something, he won't do it again, blood. 50 Cent must have something to say about this, because listen, Will went through it, mate. Like I was saying, the planetary energies for yesterday, right? Mercury moved into Aries, blood. Christian have had a heads up for that, but I told you I was busy. I had to go and get my nails done and spend time with my progenies on Mother's Day. Right, it says, my notes for yesterday, right? It says that during this time, communication, right, will be direct and impulsive. Listen, the planetary energies for yesterday was off the chisel. In order to avoid conflict, right, choose your words carefully, right, and put your verbal sword away when expressing yourself. Planetary energies for yesterday. What else did I write? It said what? Be careful before asserting yourself and speaking too bluntly. All of this and that Chris did. Yeah. I further went on to write, take a step back and try to keep things simple and light. All of which Chris did not do. I told you I was busy yesterday. I had to go and relax on Mother's Day with my progeny. If I'd been here, Chris might have seen me say, don't do it, Chris. You're gonna get fucked up by someone who's, listen, he's had roles where he's learned Kung Fu, martial arts. He was Muhammad Ali, for God's sake. Didn't you see it? But they thought that he would be the butt of all jokes. Will also went on to say in his speech, when you choose to step into your creativities and you're in the famous light, you get picked on all of the time and you have to smile and say like it doesn't hurt. Well, guess what? Feelings do hurt. They do hurt. We've all got them, mate. Even the conscienceless ones have feelings, darling dear. And it's always hurt because the big cat will always rise as your chronicles continues. Yes, baby. It was a lot. Hold on. I've got to lubricate my larynx because that slap came from the ancestors. Yeah. Listen. Girls and boys, it was such a juicy goosey. Yes, baby. We're gonna read up on this Shiznaiee. My hands are still shaking. I couldn't believe it. Jada gave out that whap yesterday like she was being paid, blood. Well, Tupac, whom, where what? Where what on whom? Wrist has... Not wrist, yeah. I'm still talking about it was in the wrist because his wrist wasn't floppy when it landed on Chris's cheek. It was straight, short, and his fingers were spread. He's got all of Will Smith up in his kitchen this morning. I don't care what shade of skin you are, mate. That shit is gonna show in the sunlight. He's gonna be off the streets for a bit, darling dear. And he's sure, I don't think he's gone to Twitter with anything. And if he does, it will be crying. Crying! How can you who can't Will Smith speak to? Who won't listen to Will Smith? Chris Rock better make sure that his financial plan is secure. And not like one of his jokes, a dick in a glass cage, waiting to be what? Smashed in case of emergency. That's his jokes. And I laughed at that. Chris, you was funny. Until you wasn't. When you're saying shit about people, right, you have to remember whom it really affects. Because if they are truly loved by someone, that person will mark it down 10 for you. Be careful whom fucks with the big cat, darling dears. They need to be careful, but we don't tell them. We move in silence. Right. My hands are still shaking, blood. Me can't talk. I better shut up. The planetary energies were there. I saw it. But I told you I had to go on a spa day with my daughter. She wanted to spend her Skrillus that I gave her to spend on me. Shut up. She's 12. I have to give it to her. But it was her plan. I have to listen. She's 12. Like I told that demon that came to my door. Come and tell me about an argument between two 12-year-olds with only her side of the story and none of the progenies in presence. Are you mad? Right. Energy around Will Smith. Will, big ball. He's the dog's bollocks. Energy around Will. When before he delivered that final blow, what was his energy? This one spun on my finger. He was all go, let's get that shit. He was ready to snatch everybody's ass, right? This is the Cancer energy. And it also speaks about war, tongue wrestling, right? Hockey sticks at dawn, right? I'm not having it, blood. He weren't having it. Hey! He weren't having it. No, Will was not having it. Cancer energy, as I said. The warrior. This is the key word for the Chariot, darling dear. The warrior in him rose up, blood. And he was divinely guided by his ancestral team to fuck him up. Yeah. And he wasn't waiting to talk to him after the... Listen. When you've got to stand up for your shit, you ain't waiting for the correct time, because I told you, the devil is not going to give you a heads up, especially the bottom feeder you dealt with in your life, darling dear. They didn't give you a heads up saying they was coming for your hairline and was going to what? Talk about you in them streets. Everybody gets their 5 o'clock. I told you this, my dear big cat. Some of us have to what? Just continue with the forgiving and move on. And it will be delivered the same way Will Smith delivered unto Chris Rock. Effrontery on so many levels. He knew what he was saying before he got on that stage and still chose to say it anyway. Will weren't having it. Would Will have stayed and fought with him? Would Will have tussled if Chris had tried to retaliate? Let it fall out naturally. I'm not going to pick it. Would Will have tussled? Bitch, I told you. Will did not step on that stage to take any prisoners. He came there for war, blood. He didn't like that comment, blood. He wasn't having it, blood. No. Will wasn't having it. He came on like the Shogun Assassin Road, blood, with a full of what? Kung Fu Panda. Hiya! Look how Will saw that comment. I think, yeah, Will weren't having it. Let's see what Chris thought about it all. Hold on a minute. We're gonna go and see what Chris thought about it all. Did Chris make that comment to deliberately humiliate not only Jada, but Will in face of him possibly receiving that Oscar? Did Chris Rock deliberately try to stab him, right? Stab Will? Did he deliberately do this, or was he forced? Did he deliberately do it? Yes, he did, Black Queen of Swords. He knew what he was doing. Highly intelligent, darling dear. He could have chosen a soft way. He could have. Can't you see the butterfly on the chair? But he deliberately meant to say what he said. All in the face of Will possibly receiving the Oscar, which he did go on to receive. He did it on purpose. What's going on with my music? We need to set the tone, darling dears. Yeah, he deliberately said it. Right? How shocked was he when Will stepped onto the stage? Did he think he was going to get his ass kicked? No. 5 of Cups. But he's remorseful about it, blood, now. He's look, even his red face where he got the delivered blow, the same side is being shown on the... Well, it's reversed for you, but it's showing. His face is hurting, blood. He's proper sorry, right? He doesn't know how to recoup. And all over this, what, third-party situation, darling dears. He's in regret. He's sorry he said that shit now. Yeah, look. I told you, pay attention to where their faces are. It's on the rinse and repeat, going through his head, mate. That and the fact that his face is pounded. And every time he looks in the mirror, he sees a 5-fingered widow on it, mate. With Will Smith's balls. Alright, resting on his forehead, black. Will Smith gave him a full-on, what, double balling. Right? Don't care about the black. He got 2 black balls yesterday. Yeah. Chris Rock got 2 black balls yesterday. He got his ass handed to him. Let me not mix up the decks. Don't like to mix them up. How does Jada feel? How did Jada feel when she heard Chris Rock making joviality about her alopecia after Laverne Cox shamed her on national television about her entanglement with that August guy? National television, black. Many came to Laverne's defense to say, oh, well, she's just doing her job and blah, blah, blah. But that was skullduggery and subterfuge. It wasn't necessary. After you congratulate her husband for all of his achievements, then you go on to shame the wife at his side, who's always been at his side. And they said, even if they're not getting on, they're going to stay in this mother chucker. That's what Jada said. You live over there, I live over there, but we are like this. Listen, Laverne Cox was outer blood clot harder, right? And Chris, he went past that. He came with the 2, darling dear. How did Jada feel when she heard that comment? Because listen, her eyes went cat-like and she looked daggers. And when she turned her eyes to her husband, right? Listen, it worked. That comment hit home. This is success. That dagger really went into her soul, darling dears. You don't know what someone's going through, right? You don't know what someone's going through when they're at their what stress threshold. Will Smith decided right? That his wife was not going to be anyone's emotional tampon that night. Or ever again. Everybody better watch it, mate. Well, it's trained up, prayed up, right? And not having it. And he's got the monies to back him up. What do you mean? Legal team, get them. How did Jada feel when she heard Chris Rock speaking so disparagingly on her name? Look! She felt like shit. She wanted to what? Disappear into the ground. Star-card on his face. This is somebody in the spotlight, but it's a nasty light that was put on her. It hurt her on a soul level, blood. Go and watch the video and look at Jada's face. It hurt her. It hit home. Told you. Chris thought about it. And Will didn't hesitate. He didn't. Major arcana. Notice, right, that Chris has only got minor arcana. This is a choice he freely made. He didn't go for his common sense, no, blood. He came out to what? Rob, steal, and kill. Break into a house. I told you, a full-on burglar. He came out like a what? I'm not even going to say a CAT burglar, because he is no big cat. That is fucked up what he did. In light of one of his own brothers, right, with the skin, gone through the fight and everything, got to the top. He did it on purpose. Notice, Will has major arcana. Jada comes out with major arcana. Soul level. It hit home. How did Jada feel? After Will... Listen, after Will's weight was balanced, darling dears, and he pivoted like a boss as he carried through with the what? Listen, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth. How did Jada feel after he did that? Look, I can't make it up. I told you I'm high priestess. My cards speak to me, darling dears. This is how Jada felt. Major arcana. Pay attention, darling dears. When I speak to you, I speaks the truth. Roof. She felt like a boss. She felt like the empress of everything. Like she could walk. Look how Chris made her feel with that comment. Look how Will made her feel afterwards. You saw that I didn't pick the cards. The cards speak to me because I'm on my purpose to deliver what needs to be delivered unto whomsoever needs to be delivered. This is my calling to help the big cat. Jada she got it, mate. She got her whole life. She was like, Will, you're a savage. And I've got some savage whack to give you. Their life, I wouldn't be surprised if, and a child is born. This is the Empress, darling. They're fertile, right? Abundant, knowing their worth. Her self-esteem was out of the roof after her man stood up for her favor. Tupac, what? Mention that shit in front of Will, bitch. Anybody mention that in front of Will, he's not having it. Blood. Anyhow, as I said, it was a teaching moment, and I'm going to ring off now, guys. It was just a quick call in, and I'll be back with today's planetary energies because this the one day I take off, Mother's Day, all shit kicked off. But Chris deliberately did that to tear Will down, to shame him on the stage at the Oscars as he was about to receive the Oscar. He didn't know he was going to get the Oscar. Would Chris have done that? Did Chris know prior to getting to the stage? Did Chris know prior to going on stage that night? Did he already know that Will was going to win? Look! Look! The truth, Roof! He already knew that he was going to win. And he still chose to tell that disparaging joke about Jada. Chris already knew that Will was going to win. That makes it even more wacky. Still no major arcana. Wicked for sure, right? He made this as a conscious decision to get on that stage and disrespect Jada because he already knew that Will was going to get the Oscar. Motherfucker, Chris Rock, you are going to get some major karma. Base of the deck. He's going to be sat down, darling dear, or he's going to sit down. This talks about some kind of mental slip. Split the deck. Queen of Wands, the fuck shit of it all, darling dear. Why did he do it? The Queen of Wands on her face is jealousy, darling dear. Jealousy. We haven't seen Neria 1 major arcana when we were talking about Chris. He was fucking jealous, right? He was bomber-clad, jealous, envious that Will was going to get the Oscar because he already knew. You saw the cards jump out, big cat. Pay attention to your eyes, because I come with the truth roof. He was jealous, and it was spite, bare spite, why he made that joke. Because he already knew, prior to getting on that stage that night, that Will was going to win. Queen of Cups behind, again to let you know, he already knew. And he wanted to what? Will to take some kind of a fall. He wanted to put some kind of a pain, make them feel vulnerable, because he already knew Queen of Cups is someone who's supposed to be nurturing, right? He don't like the fact of how Will is loved, darling dear. He's loved. Queen of Cups, Queen of Hearts, King of Hearts. He wanted him to take a fall. He wanted him to take an L on his winning of the Oscar. Chris Rock, you're full of shit and you're wicked, and karma will find your address. Anyway, Will defended his woman, his wife. If she didn't love him before, darling dears, she fucking loves him now. Wheel of Fortune. Fate. Destiny. What's behind that? I can't help but look. They're going to be working on their shit, blood. Yeah, I told you. He's getting spiritual whap after... He don't know what fucking day is. Will is confused, mate. He'd never had Jada like this before. Until now. Good for them. Good for them. And bad. And fuck you, Chris. Hey! I mean, Christopher! Told you Jada gave it to him like it was no one's business. Which it isn't. But I told you, we have to look to see what's going on. So pay attention, darling dears, to the planetary energies before you kick your way out onto the Malkuth. Look what degree the planets are in the houses on your birth natal chart, darling dears. And as I always say, don't get smoked. Don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Cat. Share this video, darling dears. Share it. It's a teaching moment for one and for all. Namaste. Cat. We ain't having it, black. Not today, tomorrow, or any other day with a D in it. Yes. Big ball and will. Stand up and show out. For whom he loves.